So today we're going to go over basically part two of my Tiffany collection, but God only knows what part of my jewelry collection. I am losing track here. So let's get into it. All right, so today we're going to talk about my all-time favorite Tiffany pieces. I mean, I love all Tiffany pieces, but there's just some that I cannot be without. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to start us off with these rings. So these are the Tiffany beaded ring, the Tiffany braided ring, and the Tiffany I Love You narrow ring. So I Love You is inscribed on there. These three rings. Okay, so when I met Hubs, we were first dating, I told him that every year that we were not married, he was to give me a ring from Tiffany. I know that's crazy, right? At that point in time, who knows what I was thinking. So at 3 years, he got me, I had these three Tiffany rings because I didn't have an engagement ring. And so this is what I wore. This is how I started to gravitate and learn that I love to stack. And that was my style. I decided that I didn't want any more rings. That's about when I began to learn about Cartier, and I was like, that is what I want to move toward. But in the meantime, these pieces are what taught me what I actually liked and wanted. So once again, this is the Tiffany beaded ring, this is the Tiffany rope, and this is the Tiffany narrow, and it's I Love You. And these are all three of these are silver. After making that decision and saying, okay, I think Cartier may be for me, Tiffany released their tea collection. And I lost my mind. I had to have some of those pieces because let me tell you, this was the first one I got, and it's just a simple Tiffany tea, and it's in the silver. And I have to tell you, as soon as I saw it, I loved it, but as soon as I put it on, I fell in love with this piece. This became quickly, out of all the pieces I've shown you thus far, outside of Cartier, but Tiffany focused, this was my favorite ring. I fell in love with this. I cannot tell you why. Aesthetically, it is just so pleasing to me. It's so clean, it's so bold, but yet it's still sophisticated and sleek, and I had to have the piece. So of course I started out with this one, and it was great. I'm laughing because this goes into a crazy direction. It quickly evolves, and it's funny to me because now I get to think of the story from a different vantage point because this was years ago. So then I added a bracelet. Makes sense, right? Because I'm a set person. I love sets. Then I added another bracelet. So as I talk about this, I'm going to put this on my other arm as I'm talking about it so you can see. So I ended up with this, and I got the smaller one. Now these are the pieces that when I earlier talked about my jewelry boxes and cleaning, I do not put these pieces into the baking soda hot water cleaning mix. Instead, I use a cloth for this because when water gets into the grooves and deep inside this, who knows what could happen, right? So I ended up with this fabulous ring first. And then I got these. Now all of these pieces I ended up getting for myself. I just fell in love with the way it looks. It's so bold, it's so sharp, right? And then I decided to get this one, and it has small diamonds on the inside on the outside right here. And it's, let me move these up so you can see that it wraps around. I don't know if Tiffany makes this one anymore. I know that they make these, which I'm telling you, these were fabulous. And I think what made me gravitate towards them were the fact that they were not dainty. And I knew immediately, okay, you know, I love my dainty pieces, but I'm tough on things. I've said that before with bags, with everything I own. So I make sure that I get pieces, I invest in pieces that are going to fit my personality and my lifestyle. So this really worked very, very well with where I was at that time in my life. So after that, getting the Tiffany tea, I went a little further and did a little more searching and investing, and I fell in love with their wire, Tiffany's wire tea. Quickly, once again, became my favorite. It's still dainty, but it's not as dainty as the other pieces, and it has the diamonds in it that makes it just so, see, it's just beautiful, so delicate, but still it is not as delicate as the daintier bracelets I showed you. This just is a fabulous, fabulous addition. And at that point is when I basically started to go from Tiffany to Cartier. So it was a fabulous segue. I found the pieces that I just absolutely adore from Tiffany, and at that point I just was like, okay, that's all I need for my collection. And I wasn't even thinking collection when I got all these pieces. I just was thinking where I was at that time in my life and what suited and fitted me. And now, you know, I've evolved to Cartier, and now I have what I love and enjoy, and I don't believe I will be adding anything else to the collection. Well, who knew I would end up where I am now with my jewelry collection? I did not predict this. It just ended up happening the way it happened. But with time, as you can see, I evolved, and I haven't even shared with you the pieces that actually began my jewelry journey, which I will eventually. I hope to see you next time, and I'll be sharing in my next video more of my jewelry collection because it doesn't end there. Until next time.